Nicole and Smith both lived in a city hostel. These individuals decided to go out to eat one evening. They rode their bikes outside at 11 p.m. to eat in this manner. Smith told Nicole to take the short forest path after supper so he could get to his hostel as soon as possible. Nicole, on the other hand, refused and stated that this route should not be taken because it passes through an abandoned cemetery. Smith informs him that it is on the right side of the forest, whereas we will be traversing the left. Nicole agreed with him, and they both went down this road. They arrived near the abandoned cemetery after some time on that path. Nicole announced immediately that we had arrived at the cemetery. According to Smith, the cemetery should have been on the opposite side of the forest. What brought it here? Nicole orders him to leave the area immediately, fearing for his safety. Nicole noticed movement in the cemetery as soon as Smith reversed the bicycle. Nicole tightened his grip on Smith's shoulders when he noticed this, prompting Smith to inquire, "What's the matter with you? Why are you putting so much pressure on my shoulders?" Nicole informs him, terrified, that he has just seen movement in the cemetery. Smith then inquired as to the location of the movement. "There is someone in the cemetery, over there," said Nicole, motioning to him. Smith became terrified upon hearing this and stated that he does not wish to observe anything. "We should leave this area as soon as possible, because I'm starting to get scared." Nicole stated that there is someone present on this occasion. When Smith looked there, he found nothing. However, Nicole stated numerous times that there is someone present there. "Can't you see?" Smith claimed, "I can't see anything. What do you see?" Nicole claims, "A white cloth moving to the right and left on a regular basis." After hearing this, Smith became even more terrified. Nicole began telling Smith to leave immediately. Smith left after Nicole repeated this several times. Nicole eventually heard a sound in his ear, as if someone is telling him, "Stop, or else I'll kill you." Nicole became terrified when he heard this and began yelling, "Go fast!" at Smith. Then Smith inquired as to what occurred. Smith's gaze was drawn to the bike's mirror. He noticed a woman in white chasing him through the air. When Smith saw this, he became terrified and increased the speed of the bike. Fearful, they arrived at their hostel, went to their room, and fell asleep after locking the gate. The next day, a college holiday, they both left for home, promising not to tell anyone about the incident. The next day, Smith receives a phone call, and when he answers it, he discovers that it's Nicole's mother. Picking up the phone, Nicole's mother informs Smith that he hasn't eaten or spoken to anyone since Nicole returned home. He spends the entire day in his room, and there's a sound of someone talking to someone from his room in the middle of the night while no one is in his room. Do you know anything about it? Smith became terrified and reported the incident to Nicole's mother. His mother was also terrified upon hearing this information. She reprimanded Smith, saying that, "All this occurred and you didn't tell anyone? What if something terrible were to occur?" Smith stated that, "Because we were terrified, we did not tell anyone." Nicole was conversing with another individual in his room while his mother listened in through the door on the same evening. She entered the room because she did not comprehend anything. Inside, they observed Nicole standing in a dark corner with his back to the wall and mumbling. "Nicole, what are you talking about?" questioned his mother. Nicole did not respond, but he did stop babbling. "Tell me, who are you talking to?" she inquired. That's when Nicole shouted,
"Leave me in that cemetery and come, old lady. That is my residence. I'll bring your child with me."
Nicole's tone of voice had changed. His eyes turned red and his voice sounded as if 2 to 3 people were saying all of this at the same time. Nicole collapsed unconscious after saying all of this. His mother became terrified and picked him up and made him lie on the bed. Then she called her husband and told him everything. Nicole's father returned from work after an hour. Nicole's mother started crying and asked, "What happened to our son?" When she sees him, "Please correct it." Nicole is driven to church by his parents the next day. The priest places his hand on Nicole's head, closes her eyes, and then opens her eyes and declares that he is possessed by a witch. She had followed it out of the cemetery and it returned to him. She would also like to accompany him to the cemetery. Nicole's mother burst into tears upon hearing this. She asked the priest, "Save my son." According to the priest, this witch followed your son's scent to your house. As a result, its odor must drive it away. You dispose of his clothing from today in the same cemetery without washing it. Don't worry, I'll keep the witch until you return with the clothes. You must, however, complete the task tonight only. Nicole's parents became enraged upon hearing this and brought his clothes to the cemetery that night to be stored there. "We left your victim in the graveyard. You should leave," the priest responded. "Do not return again." After that, the witch returned to the abandoned graveyard. Nicole was now free of the witch's clutches. The priest advised Nicole's family that your son should never take that road by accident. After saying this, the priest sent all three of them out of the church, and they returned home happy.